This is for Year 12 methods. It's exam trials. It's NEAP 2018 exam 2 question 4, G part 3 and 4H. So the earlier part of the question talked about H and its inverse. And from a previous part of the question, this is H and this is inverse. Okay, hence show the graphs of H of X and the inverse do not intersect. Well, if I have H of X and its inverse, it's also going to intersect on the line y equals X. So I'm going to set H of X equal to X and solve for X. If there is a solution, that means that H of X intersects y equals X, therefore it would intersect its inverse. So I've got X minus 4 root X equals X. Subtract X from each side. I get minus 4 root X equals 0. Well, that will only exist when X equals 0, but when X equals something else, therefore there's no solution. Therefore, H of X does not intersect y equals X, therefore it does not intersect the inverse either. Okay, in part H, Q is going to equal H minus C, where Q, okay, and Q equals the inverse. So H of X minus C equals the inverse of X, which means that H of X minus the inverse of X equals C. Now I know that H of X doesn't equal the inverse because that's what I just proved up here. I proved that they didn't intersect. Therefore, when C equals 0, there's no solution. I'm interested in where is there exactly one solution. So let's have a little look at what H of X minus the inverse looks like. So this is H of X, and I'm subtracting the inverse. So I've got here on my calculator H of X minus the inverse. If I take that and I graph it, and that and I graph it. Now, I do have a restricted domain of 4 to infinity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that from 4 to 12. I'll make that minimum value negative, say, 30, and the maximum value 0, so I can see where the x-axis is, and I can see that I have this. Now, if C equaled that value, then I would have one intersection point of H of X minus the inverse equaling C. So if I do analysis, G solve ycalc at X equals 4, that should be the point where, okay, so if I cancel that and just move it over a little bit so I make sure I've got 4. Analysis, G solve ycalc when X equals 4. That's the value that C has to equal. It has to equal negative 27.31371. And then this would touch that once. If it was any bigger than negative 27.371, so then I want C to be equal to or less than, for it to have exactly one solution, because if it was lower, it also had one solution. So what is that value? So if I take this answer and I bring up my keyboard and I go math 3 given X equals 4 and go execute, simplify the answer, that which is, yep, that's the answer I'm looking for. So it's equal to negative 16 minus 8 root 2.